Story of the day. Wife pushes out a crippled guy and her stepson and crawls on her hands and knees to him when she finds herself in the streets. Following an accident at work that results in the amputation of his hand, Ethan loses his job. His wife abandons him and their little boy, not realizing that 2 years later, fate will force her to seek for his assistance. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. Ethan was a guy of integrity. He was 30 years old, endearing and devoted to his late wife, Emily, who died of cancer a year ago. He frequently believed, "Nobody can take Emily's place. It would take a lifetime to find such a kind woman." And he vowed never to fall in love again. One day, after celebrating Emily's first death anniversary at the cemetery with his 2-year-old son, Ryan, Ethan encountered an unusual woman on their way home. He rushed to her aid, saying, "Miss, hey, are you okay?" A storm drain's opening had caught one of her shoe heels. The woman had to throw away her broken shoes because she felt ashamed. The woman rose up looking uncomfortable and without a shoe. "I'm all right, thanks," she replied. Ethan thought to himself, feeling sad for the poor woman. When you betray others, be prepared to be betrayed in return. He made a write-off offer. He identified himself at this point and found out that the woman, Pamela, was childless and divorced. She said, "Thanks for taking the time out for me," 10 minutes later. That's a big deal. She blushed and slammed the car door as she got down in front of her house. That was the last of it, Ethan thought, until he was ready to leave with his kid when Pamela showed up by his window with her contact information. Still flushing, she added, "Call me." Ethan had no clue where this would take him that fateful evening. He began seeing Pamela frequently. She enjoyed giving young Ryan cuddles and even assisted in watching him while Ethan went to work. He worked for a private furniture firm as a main carpenter. Ethan began to fall for Pamela gradually. Not only would she be the ideal bride, he thought, but she would also be his son's ideal stepmother. He thought, "My son needs a mom, and I cannot find anyone better than Pam." And a few months later, he promptly asked her to marry him. Not unexpectedly, she concurred. In a private ceremony, Ethan and Pamela exchanged vows. For 3 years, they had the happiest days of their lives, including a honeymoon with their kid. But Pamela asked for something odd only one day after celebrating their 3rd wedding anniversary. She needed an investor in order to launch her firm. She was unable to consider anyone else than Ethan for this. "Honey, I had an idea. How about we sell this house? By the conclusion of the following 2 quarters, I'm confident I'll have a great turnover and we can purchase a larger home. I swear to reimburse your funds," she informed Ethan. He took her word for it and had the papers ready right away. He put money into Pamela's business and sold his house. Then, oblivious to the impending storm in their life, he moved into her small house outside of town with his kid. Everything seemed to be going well until Pamela received a call about an incident from Ethan's office one day. "We are sorry, Mrs. Turner," the physician said to her when she hurried to the hospital. He had to amputate his right hand due to serious injuries. After that, Ethan was unable to function normally or go to work. To Pamela's dismay, despite having a prosthetic hand, he lost his job and was a homebody. For the first 3 months after the tragedy, she remained silent and adjusted, but eventually she could stand to watch Ethan do nothing. One day, she argued, "I have to cook, clean, and look after your annoying child. I also need to put money into this house after that. Which guy is in charge of this house, me or you? Instead of lounging around the house like a lazy moron, why don't you get a job soon?" Pamela's remarks demoralized Ethan. He fought, not expecting her to say this. "However, you pledged to give back the cash I gave you. Recall that I sold my home to you. After I receive my money back, I'm confident I'll be able to start anything fresh." It infuriated Pamela. When Ethan and his 5-year-old son Ryan came home from church 2 days later, their possessions had been thrown out. The home was locked and their baggage were outside. He found out that Pamela had ejected them from her home. "My home is being leased. Take your belongings and go, you and your son," she informed him. "But where are we going, Pam? I sold my house for you and we have nowhere—" Ethan let out a cry. She said, "It doesn't matter. It makes up for all the bother I had to go through to feed your foolish boy and you for 3 months. I want you to forget me and the home. I want to be happy and I got a lovely companion. Farewell, and please don't return. I will shortly give you the divorce documents." Walking away with his small boy, Ethan was sad. "Where shall we go, Jesus?" he sobbed. "We have nowhere to go and no one to help us." It began to rain as soon as the father and kid arrived at the nearby metro station to seek cover. People stopped and stared in disbelief as Ethan covered his kid in an old blanket and sobbed. However, no one questioned him until an inquisitive elderly lady intervened. "Young guy, what took place? What's causing your tears? I've been observing you from behind the counter for a while now. You appear anxious. Is everything okay?" she questioned him. After showing him to her room, she offered Ryan a warm drink. Ethan confided in Doris, the woman, and told her everything about his predicament because of her generosity. "It wasn't my fault that the accident prevented me from working. I feel inadequate." He wept. "I don't know how I'm going to raise my son." Doris dried his tears and offered some encouraging words that made him feel better and inspired him to keep trying. "Son, real talent doesn't need to be able to walk or use their legs to succeed. You only need a strong will and an ambitious heart to succeed in life. You still have a lot of work ahead of you, so don't give up. The entire future is reflected back to you. How come you can quit so quickly? Get up and retaliate. I'll assist you." Michael, the son of Doris, who owned a furniture business in a nearby town, was first introduced to Ethan. After discovering Ethan's special carpentry abilities, he promoted him to manager. Ryan and Ethan went into the staff quarters of the corporation. Ethan had to recommit himself to his profession for 2 years in order to get back on his feet. He got affluent and was able to purchase whatever that he had previously believed was beyond of his reach because of his disabilities. After moving into a large, spacious estate, Ethan and Ryan spent their best days there, until Pamela showed up at their door one day. They had forgotten about her and had no idea what she was doing. "You. Why have you come and what are you doing here?" When Pamela showed up at his house unannounced and begged for his assistance, Ethan lost it. It came out that she had been duped and cheated on by her new partner. "He fled after stealing all of my money. He said he would help me grow my business, so I sold my house, but I lost both. There is nowhere for me to go. That's when I learned about you." She fell on her knees and sobbed. "I need your help." After giving it some serious thinking, Ethan answered, "Look, all I can do is rent you a hotel room and maybe hire a lawyer." But he was at a loss for words. "You're free to depart right now and meet me at work tomorrow." With a dejected expression on Pamela's face, Ethan shut the door. She begged to be let in while standing there sobbing and pounding on his door, but he turned her down. To maintain the serenity and tranquility he had just discovered in his life, Ethan was resolved never to trust her again. He and Ryan never gave their history a second thought and stayed away from Pamela. Love mends a wounded heart. Upon discovering Ethan and his son abandoned at the metro station, Doris provided them with temporary housing and urged them to persevere. When you betray others, be prepared to be betrayed in return. After deceiving Ethan, Pamela ejected him from his son's home. In the end, she got her comeuppance when her new lover duped her and ran away, leaving her on the streets. Any similarity to real names or places is entirely accidental. All pictures are just meant to serve as examples. Tell us about your experience. Maybe someone's life will be changed by it. Should you wish to narrate your narrative, please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.